Minerva really wanted to be in this video. What's up guys, it's Millions and Millie Books here with my February wrap-up. This wrap-up is kind of pathetic. They put Friends on Netflix, and I had never seen Friends before. So that means that it was a good idea for me to watch 5 seasons in 2 months. Yep. So in the month of February, I read a total of 4 books and a little bit of another one. But I did complete 68 episodes of Friends, which was almost 3 seasons. And if anybody was wondering, I am probably going to finish season 5 tonight. So that's where I am at. And I'm loving it. It's so good. But now I'm going to get into the books that I did read. The first novel I picked up in February is We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. I'm pretty sure everybody and their mother has read this book, but I was one of the few people on this planet, and when I say planet, I mean booktube, who hadn't picked this up yet. It was really short, and it was at a used bookstore, so I'm like, might as well pick this up because I know I'll pick it up soon because of the length of it. I was stuck in an airport, and I just happened to have it with me, so I picked it up. This novel is about a girl named Cadence, where her and her family live on a private island during the summer. Cadence, 2 of her cousins, and a family friend together create this group, and they call themselves the Liars, and the Liars like to cause a little bit of mischief. And that is all I'm going to say about this because everybody's read the synopsis where it's all like, just lie, dun dun dun, it's all dramatic. I really did enjoy this. I'm glad I really didn't know too much about it going into it, so if you can remain unspoiled, please do, because it'll definitely make the reading experience of this book a lot better. As for this infamous plot twist that everybody talks about, I thought I guessed it, but honestly, I really did not. There was definitely just, I really like this. I probably gave it, when I first finished it, I thought I was going to give it a 4, but I think I boosted it up to around a 4.5. A common criticism that I hear of this book is that they didn't feel very connected to the characters in it, which I completely agreed to until the last minute I finished the book. For days after finishing this book, I could not stop thinking about what happened. That's why I think I did end up raising my rating half a star, just because I thought I didn't connect with it, but then it was still so haunting. And E. Lockhart is completely genius. I've never read anything like this. I enjoyed reading about the liars, but I didn't really like the adults in this book. I thought they were all very petty and annoying, but I think that was kind of intentional. So yeah, overall I really enjoyed this. Super quick, so if you are behind on a reading challenge and you are one of the last few people on this planet who hasn't read this, I would suggest picking this up. The next novel I picked up is The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender. This is a historical fiction magical realism book centering around a girl who was born with wings. Then it traces back to tell her mother's and grandmother's story. It starts with her grandmother's, and then it goes into her mother's, and then it goes into our main protagonist Ava's story. And this was absolutely incredible. I have heard multiple raving reviews on this book, but I did not expect it to be what this was. I didn't even know that it was historical fiction, but Ava's story takes place in the late 40s, early 50s. So then her grandma's is early 1900s and her mom's was either 1920s or 1930s. So it's definitely a cool spanning of generations just to see. It's all historical fiction. Leslie Walton has this writing style that I've never read anything like it. It was so beautiful. Her words were so whimsical. This story was gorgeous. It was heartbreaking. It felt like a fairy tale, and I highly recommend reading this. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars because I loved it. Next novel I picked up is Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. I did an entire book chat on this book, so I will link that in the description if you want to hear me talk about it and rave about it a little bit more, but I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. This novel is a young adult fantasy about a society that is divided by blood type. Our main character is a red blood, and the elite in the society are silvers, and silvers have powers, but our main character, Mare, happens to be a red blood with powers, so it's kind of her dealing with the outcomes of that, because this is apparently unheard of in the society. Again, I really enjoyed this. I will link my review down below where I gush about this. This is definitely a solid installment in the series, and I cannot wait for all the books to come. This was a great debut novel for Victoria Aveyard. The next novel I picked up is Pure by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is the second book in the Covenant series. I'm really enjoying this series. I will not give a synopsis of this one because it obviously spoils Half-Blood, the first book, but Half-Blood kind of reminded me of like a crossover between Vampire Academy and like Percy Jackson, because there's Greek mythology, but then twisted together in Jennifer L. Armentrout's awesomeness and addictiveness. It's just, it's so good. I give this one 4 stars. I highly enjoyed it. There was a little bit of angst in it, but it was all enjoyable nonetheless. Apart from watching numerous episodes of Friends this month, I've just been extremely busy. So that kind of resulted in slightly a reading slump, slightly I just didn't have enough time to pick up a book. So when I finally got to pick this up, I am so happy I did because I just devoured it within a couple of days, even though I was busy during those days as well. I stayed up really late reading this, and I love it, and I cannot wait to continue on in this series. A lot of times people either ask for reading slump advice or make videos giving reading slump advice, and my main reading slump advice, minus of course don't read if you don't want to, but read something by Jennifer L. Armentrout because her books are just so fast and so much fun. The final novel I have to talk about here I did not finish, and this is I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. I'm on page 71. I believe I started this before Pure actually, and not that I wasn't enjoying it, and I really did enjoy The Sky is Everywhere, Jandy Nelson's other novel, but her writing style is very unique and it's something that I kind of had to be in the mood for. I want to put this down for now and hopefully pick it up within the next few months because I did really like what I did get to read, but I've heard so many good reviews on this that I want to fully enjoy it because it does sound like that it is an amazing book. This will hopefully come up in March or April. Stay tuned for my thoughts on this. Alright, that is it. That is my kind of mini, guiltily tiny wrap up for the month of February in 2015. I happen to really like all the books I read, so I guess that means I had a good reading month, but I also am slacking to the point where my Goodreads challenge was 75 and I lowered it to 52 because I don't want to fail at it, but hopefully that'll just catch up. I have spring break in March coming up and be able to raise that again. And that is it. Thank you for watching. This is Millions of Millie Books. Bye! My cat. Cat! Cat. Not really cat. But I think so cool. And my cat's back. Okay. It's a bear. Somebody's being naughty.